Hand poking in particular at first interests me because there is a bit more accessibility, and I do like how it's a bit more intimate. It, unfortunately for some people, does take longer than a machine tattoo, but it kind of gives me a lot more time to talk to the person. I feel like it's a bit more meditative. The first tattoo I ever did on skin was on myself. It's on my upper thigh, and it's two like women's heads leaning into each other. Very much kind of like a Pisces sign, but not too much like a Pisces. I really am obsessed with faces. So I have faces pretty much in all of my tattoos. So it was something I gravitated towards my first one. I like to view it as collaborative because it's between myself and this other person, and I don't want it to be like a one-sided exchange. I like that it's something that we both work on and both work towards, and especially since like they have to sit through it. So I don't know, like I don't want it to be like I'm only putting something in, because they also are absolutely sitting there and like giving me a permanent space on their body, their time, and also, you know, a little bit of uncomfortableness because it's not the most comfortable to get tattooed. So it really is a collaboration. The process would be somebody reaches out to me, they have something they're interested in, we coordinate, and either I will say yes or I'll say no, and then the person will come in. And a lot of times I'll do a good amount of setup beforehand. So that's wiping down the table, wiping down my station. After that, you have to saran wrap pretty much everything, so everything's sterile. Whatever needles and whatever inks, which again also depends for what piece I'm working on. Sometimes I'll have like 5 or 6 like different size needles out going at once. On a more tame day, I'll probably have like 2-3 needles out, whatever inks we need. And then from there, the person will come in, we will shave their arm, sterilize their arm with alcohol, then we'll put the stencil on, and then after that we'll have them sit on the bed, and then we'll kind of do a quick check-in to make sure they're doing okay, they're ready. Then we'll start tattooing, and then either sometimes people like to talk, sometimes people like to be quiet. Both is totally fine, doesn't really, you know, change what I'm doing. I'm down for whatever. And then from there, we'll just kind of do a few check-ins along the way, and then we'll wrap up. Of course, take that good old photo so we have something fun to commemorate what happened, and then you should be good to go with your new tattoo. Normally when I'm drawing something, when I feel like I have something, I get an itch. Like I'll be drawing something and I'll be like, there's something here. Where other times I'll be drawing and I'm like, this one I'm not really feeling. And then from that, I'll just tweak it until I feel like I'm really happy with it. And that can either be a half hour I've banked out drawings, or it could be weeks. Well, I'll still revisit something because I feel like it's just not quite there. I would describe my style to somebody as a mix of cute portrait, Rococo, Gothic is what I would love to esteem to be. And I mostly tattoo whatever I'm feeling. I get a lot of inspiration from what I'm listening to or what I'm reading. So mostly it's influenced a lot by that, and then I kind of just take it and will draw it. I actually really love history. A lot of my tattoos are inspired by historical figures. Like I recently had a really cool sternum piece I worked on, which was inspired by Elizabeth Bathory. The recent piece that I just did before was slightly inspired by Joan of Arc. I actually have a few inspired by Joan of Arc. So a lot of times I'm always like reading about history and listening to a lot of stuff about it. So I'll catch like somebody who really I think their story is really cool and I'll look more into it. A lot of it is also inspired shamelessly by the Tudor dynasty of England, just because this is my favorite historical, I guess, monarch. I kind of first had to get over my nerves and anxiety and kind of a little bit get over myself. And after I took that plunge, I found a community that was so receptive and was so kind and caring. And I felt like that was just really instrumental and in changing my life for a positive way. Right now, my style hasn't outgrown hand poking. I think if I ever decide that I wake up one day and I want to have these elaborate backgrounds, I'll probably have to switch over. But where I am right now, I really like it, and I like the texture that it gives. It gives like a different feeling to a tattoo. And yeah, I'm kind of rocking and rolling where I am.